What's up, guys? It is December 4th, 2019, new comic book day, and I'm telling you about all the books that I picked up coming up next. What's up, comic book fans? My name is Bruce Monroe, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to another episode of Comic Book Reviews, a weekly series where I bring you my thoughts in my reviews of the comic books that I picked up at my local comic book shop, and this week was December 4th, 2019. That's right, people, we are 4 weeks, well, I believe it's 4 weeks away until January 2020, which is, in my opinion, pretty crazy. But I want to take 1 minute, just 1 minute, guys, and apologize for missing last week's episode. I hosted Thanksgiving dinner at my house, and I thought somehow that on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, that I could somehow cook 3 desserts, a ham, and 3 sides, pick up my comic books, record a video, edit a video, and post a video, while also my mom showed up, my sister and husband, and her 2 kids and her dog, and entertain them. Yeah, I bit off a little more than I could chew. I also planned a special Thanksgiving live stream with Stephanie, myself, my sister, and her husband. But then I also cooked a turkey. Well, Stephanie and I cooked a turkey and a bunch more sides and appetizers and played with the kids and did this and did that and did this and did that. And by the time 10 o'clock rolled around, we were all pretty much in bed. So Stephanie and I really want to apologize for missing those. We are going to do a much better job about letting you guys know on social media that we are going to miss those kind of things, so that way you guys are not just wondering where we are or wondering where these videos are. So yeah, that's my minute. That's my little rant, letting you guys know why I missed last week, and I truly apologize. But let's not waste any more time, because I know you guys are here for the comic book reviews, so let's jump right into them with my pick of the week, because I guess I should be doing those, because there always is the best book of the week. And I was actually surprised by this, because I really haven't enjoyed this book for the first few issues, but my pick of the week was X-Men #2. This is written by Jonathan Hickman, the great Jonathan Hickman, and art by Linnell Francis Yu. This book was super fun. It was Jonathan Hickman, I think, at his best. Personally, it was just really good. He introduced 4 new characters that are actually old ladies, and they were somehow spoilers ahead. I'm just gonna jump right into it. They were able to hack one of the Krakoa gates. And able to port themselves into the Savage Land, so that way they could pick some flowers that, you know, the mutants were giving to certain countries that, you know, signed their treaty or whatever. And so they were able to hack their way in, and they sprayed this gel all over the mutants that were there that froze them. And yes, then Cyclops, Emma Frost, and oh man, who is I've forgotten who the Red King is. I'm trying to think of it. Sebastian Shaw. Duh. Yeah, that whole story that Jonathan Hickman is setting up with this 3rd issue in these 4 older ladies, because I think they're like late 60s, early 70s. One is in their 80s. It's just really good. It's funny, but also what they're going to do is just so awesome. And here's a quick shot of Sebastian Shaw getting his butt kicked by the 4 old ladies. Yeah, so let's see. It was funny. The Linnell Francis Yu's art is absolutely amazing. The story that Jonathan Hickman is building over the last few issues, he introduced a new characters last time, a new island, sentient island that mated with Krakoa to make one big island. Now we got 4 old ladies that are hacking Krakoa gates to steal flowers, and I'm not going to tell you what their plan is. If you guys want to find out, you should be picking this book up, because this is definitely the best book, I think, coming out of the whole House of X and Power of X, at least in my opinion. Super fun, drawn super well, exactly what you want from the books, like from the X-Men, in my opinion. It was a really good book. I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. I really did enjoy this book. Wouldn't be exactly a 9, because I'm still not fully on board what's going on, but it was just super fun. meeting the whole bigger picture of the X-Men. But so not a great jumping in point. It's the third issue. You should easily be able to go find out the last previous 2 issues without a problem. So definitely pick those up and jump into X-Men. Next up, we have Doctor Doom #3. This is written by Christopher Cantwell and art by the great Salvador Larroca. This is an interesting book. I'm not loving it. I'm not hating it. I might drop it some weeks and then pick up a few issues if I find the desire, because I'm trying to cut back, people. I'm spending a lot of money on each week on these books. 17 books in a week is just too much. This week was only 10, so it wasn't that bad. And this book is interesting. Doctor Doom has had these visions where he saves humanity, and he's doing his best to figure out how to get there. And these obstacles keep presenting themselves to him, and he believes he knows that future is real. And with Kane the Conqueror popping in and out, Morgan Le Fay, he went down to hell in this issue, and saw Mephisto, and there's always Mephisto, and he's in the Avengers, he's in this, but he's on the cover. But it's interesting. I don't know. I really preferred I'm gonna say it wrong again. I always say it wrong. I'll put the correct title, but Superior Iron Man, where Doctor Doom took the mantle of Iron Man while Iron Man was missing. That was just such a great story. But Salvador Larroca's art is so gorgeous. It's so good. So I would give this like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Interesting. Christopher Cantwell's story is not bad. It's just, compared to that other book, it's okay. And I really want Doctor Doom to be amazing. Doctor Doom is such a great character. And it's just, it's okay. It's interesting. Not a great jumping in point. Third issue. Again, just like the previous X-Men, like I said, you can easily go back and find these 2 issues. If you can't, mycomicbookshop.com is a great place to find books that you're missing or you can't find at your local LCS or local comic book shop. All right, up next we have Daredevil #14. This is written by Chip Zdarsky and art by Marco Checchetto and Francisco Mobelli. Great issue. This is like an 8 out of 10. Super good book. I am loving Daredevil. I loved this issue. Dealt a lot with Cole, the police officer, and dealing with Matt Murdock. Great conversation in a cafe. They leave. More discussions. Setting up some really good stuff. Some great stuff with Elektra. Finally, that stupid relationship that he's having with the Pietra family. Probably saying that wrong. I'll put the right name. The crime family boss. He was like sleeping with one of the son's wives, which I just think is stupid. But they finally broke that off. Marco Cecchetto's art is so good. And the story that Chip Zdarsky is building in this is so good with the Kingpin and everything. There was a little sprinkle of the Kingpin throughout this issue. Chip is doing just a fantastic job in this book. It's excellent pacing, and ever since Marco is back, the book is just freaking great. Like I said, 8 out of 10. Not a good jumping in point. You should pick up the first part and trade, and then try to collect the rest of the issues, because that is just such a good book. All right, next up we have The Amazing Spider-Man #35. Yes, number 35. This is written by Nick Spencer and art by Oscar Basildua. I'm sad to see Patrick Gleason off this book. He's only on it for like 2 or 3 issues. Patrick, come back. But Mr. Basildua was not bad. He's pretty good. I liked him. Overall, over the last few issues, I've been really enjoying Spider-Man. This issue, not so much, with the whole Doom in New York and, being assassinated, even though it's just a Doom bot. Him like taking over New York, and like he locked down New York to try to find the person who shot him, and then he brings in Teresa, or not Dr. Doom. Spider-Man finds his sister, which I don't remember where he got this sister, but he has his sister Teresa, who's a spy, and she hates Chameleon because the Chameleon killed her lover. And it's just like this weird story that's now involving this sister that I totally didn't know that he had. Maybe I'm just not a huge Spidey nerd as much as I thought I was. It's an okay book. I just want them to get back on track. And like, if they're gonna go to Spider-Man 2099, let's jump into Spider-Man 2099. I don't get this whole why we're dealing with Doctor Doom, but 6.5 out of 10. It's okay. The art, like I said, by Oscar is pretty good. Coming from Patrick Gleason, it's kind of like a little bit of a departure, but decent art. It's better than some of the previous artists that's been on this book. But if you're a Spidey fan, definitely pick this up. It feels very Spidey-esque. It's just, I don't know. I don't know where Nick's going with this story right now. I want to get to this 2099 stuff, and this feels kind of like a filler book to get to that 2099. Because maybe it was like they're waiting for other books to catch up or something, or other books to release to get to that full story. I don't know. But decent book. Does have some hints to Spider-Man 2099, which is coming in the next issue, I believe. At least, what does it say on the last page of the book? Yeah, to be continued in 2 weeks in ASM 36 and 2099 Omega. So definitely that story is going to start in that issue. All right, next up we have Young Justice number 11. Yes, number 11. This is written by Brian Michael Bendis, in art by John Timms. Really good story. So the team gets back to Earth, their Earth, because they're, multiverse hopping all over the place, doing all cool worlds. But they finally get able to escape the last world, which had the evil versions of themselves. They were able to escape, get back to their own Earth. They basically land on top of Naomi, who was basically not trapped, but she was around a bunch of scientists, and these scientists were asking them questions, and they were very intrusive, and she was kind of feeling shy and like, I don't know if I should be telling this. And the mom came in and like shut that down, but then all of a sudden Young Justice fell on top of them. They left, and we find out that those scientists were actually the group of people who sent Superboy to Gemworld. So they're not all that they seem to be. The only negative I can say about this book is that the pacing seemed a little weird again. It seemed to be going faster than it needed to be, and they seemed to be rushing things. At least it felt like that to me. I enjoy a slower paced book, I will say. I like when they take time and build story moments and characters and give them their moments, and that the last few issues did give moments to characters. But John Timms' art is so great in this book. I really, really enjoy it. Overall, I'll give this just like a 7 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. I like what they're doing with all the characters. I like that there's like the shady Star Labs scientist that had Superboy's ties that sent it to Gemworld and some other stuff at the end of the book. Definitely intriguing story. Little weird pacing, but overall solid book. Like I said, 7 out of 10. Not a good jumping in point because this is issue number 11. But if you were going to jump in, this might not be a terrible time because the team just got back from the multiverse hopping, so not an awful jumping in point if you want to jump in now and not read the previous 11 books. All right, next up, issue number 37 of Justice League. This is written by just Scott Snyder and art by Jorge Jimenez. You guys know, if you've watched this channel, you know I love Jorge Jimenez art. It is some of the best, and the way he draws the Justice League is just phenomenal. I haven't enjoyed the last few issues of Justice League, and this issue was much better than the previous 2 issues. I will say, I just gotta show you some of this artwork first. It is so bonkers. So in this issue, Lex is attacking the Justice League. The Justice League is trying to hold them off. Well, they find a way to make their totality whole. There's some really good, you can find this image online, and just going around and trying to see all the superheroes and recognize them and name them. It's just, that was really fun all on its own. And the fact that Damian Wayne is at the front of that with a saber is just so awesome. Again, the story was much better than the other few issues. I still didn't love it. I still don't love how they're ending this this run, this whole story. But the art in this issue, oh my gosh. I do. There was some really good stuff. Some really good stuff for the World Forger, which was really fun. The Anti-Monitor, Petra through Earth, which was pretty freaking cool. Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, this book was really good. It's just when I first read it, coming from the previous 2 issues, I was hoping for more to like win itself back. This is like a 7 out of 10. Fun. A lot of fun moments in this book. Artwork by Jorge Jimenez is so good. This was his last issue, even though I wish the next one was the last one. But I think there's one more issue to finish off the whole Doom War. So definitely pick up the next issue so you can finish off that before they move on to the next thing. Decent book. 7 out of 10. If you're reading Justice League, you definitely have to pick this book up to see Jorge Jimenez artwork. If you just want to see some great artwork, pick this book up. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that book. Alright, next up we have Batman number 84, the second to last issue of Tom King's run on Batman. And this is art by Jorge Fornes. Kind of a weird issue, I would say. The last issue I loved. I loved it so much. This issue, it was okay. So this issue dealt a lot. It was like going back to the beginning of the whole, how it basically showed us how Thomas Wayne was around and overseeing everything that Bruce did and putting him in places and what brought him, what made him do that. So it was just like each issue it just said earlier, and you just saw how Thomas Wayne has been involved in this story from the very beginning and how he moved the story along and made Bruce do certain things. And you saw we bounced from our world to Thomas Wayne world and what pushed him to come to our world to try to fix his son or save his son in his eyes. So it was definitely a good book, and Jorge Fornes' art was really good. It just, I don't know. It was kind of a weird story. I was expecting more from this, especially since issue 85 is going to be Tom King's last issue. I thought this was going to be the big battle between Bruce and Thomas Wayne, father and son, battling it out. And then Bruce Wayne would win at the end at the cost of something, and then issue 85 would be that wrap up. But I guess that's all going to happen in issue 85. Good issue, 6.5, 7 out of 10. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. Mr. Fornes' art is great throughout the whole entire issue. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say on this book. Not a great jumping in point. Obviously, issue 84 of 85 issues. Alright, next up we have Batman Universe number 5. This is wrapping up the Batman Universe story that the great Brian Michael Bendis wrote. And this is art by Nick Darrington. A really fun story. Front to back. This issue was just awesome. I mean, the whole series. This will be such a great book to pick up and trade, guys. It is a funny, fun story with amazing art by Nick Darrington. Out of continuity, it's just like a story, all on its own. You don't have to worry about knowing anything about any other continuity that's going on right now, which is an absolutely great thing for a book like this. Nick Darrington, man, I love your art. And the way you draw Batman and Nightwing and all the Batman villains and superheroes, you are an amazing artist. And I absolutely love this story about Brian Michael Bendis. I'm not going to go into the details of the book. Just know that this book is 100% worth your money. There's 5 issues. I spent $4.99 per issue, so $25 for the 5 issues, and I would do that in a heartbeat again because this was such a fun, well-told story front to back. There's mystery, there's some sadness in there, but it's mostly just a really fun, well-paced story that Batman jumps through time and through multi-universe. It was just a lot of fun. Definitely pick up Batman Universe number 5. Pick it up in trade if you can. It should be out shortly. All right, I only got 2 issues left. Next up, we have Lois Lane number 6. This is written by Greg Rucka and art by Mike Perkins. This is another really good book. I would rate the Batman universe probably 9 out of 10. Well, not 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It was just such a solid book. This would be like a 7.5 out of 10. So this is a story that happens right after, or takes place right after the events of Event Leviathan. And if you don't know what happened in there, spoiler, Lois Lane's father dies. So this issue dealt a lot with her dealing with her feelings about her father, looking back through her life and the moments that stood out to her and meant things to her, which I think will probably hopefully tie into future parts of this story, which is such a good book. Lois Lane is surprisingly one of my favorite pickups each week. I'm so happy to read this book every week. And the art by Mike Perkins, like I said, it's not the greatest artist. He's not the greatest artist. Some of the scenes look sloppy or more sketchy than others, and like sometimes when I'm looking at Lois Lane from panel to panel, and like her face changes and it's weird. But overall, the art just fits this particular story really well. This is them at the funeral. But overall, you're here for the story, not so much for the art in this book. The art is always a big factor in a book, and I will always say that because it's 100% true. But this story is just so good. It really is a good book. There's 6 issues left. You should be picking up Lois Lane. This is a 7.5 out of 10, hands down. It's just such a good book. All right, my last book of the week. This is my only indie book this week, which is super weird because the last few weeks I've always had 3 or 4 indies. This is Strange Skies Over East Berlin, number 3. This is written by Jeff Loveless and art by Lissandro Esther-Arian. I apologize for butchering your name, but this was an interesting story. The way it was told was there was the story that was unfolding. The main character is being interrogated. There's this alien creature that's going through this army base that is killing all these army soldiers, and you don't know why. But then there's this story going on in the main character's head, who is talking to himself and talking through how he's feeling and like how he's lived a spy his whole life, and it's always been a lie, and he's never told the truth. And towards the end, now that he's feeling it's like he's coming to the end of his life, he should be telling the truth. So there's 2 stories going on here, and that's always an interesting read when it's done really well, and this was done super well. And the art in this book is absolutely beautiful. I'm always so surprised when I pick up a really good indie book, and it's just so well written, and that's what Jeff Loveless has done in this book. It's just a really interesting story set in Berlin with aliens, because like in the first issue, like an alien thing crashes, and I don't know. I don't want to go too much into the story because I don't want to ruin it. I think everyone should be reading Strange Skies Over East Berlin, because it's just a super fun book that has depth in character, and the art is just beautiful, and you really should be picking up this book. It's issue number 3, another great jumping in point. It might be hard to find the first 2 issues if you don't have a really big LCS like I do. But like I said in the beginning of this video, mycomicbookshop.com is a great resource for finding books that you are missing or that you would like to pick up, because they have lots of issues of all the books, it turns out. I always find the books that I'm missing there. You might have to pay a little bit of premium sometimes, but you'll find the books there. All right, that is it for tonight. As always, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of my thoughts on those books, and if you thought differently, let me know down in the comments. If you did not like what I said in this books, let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you guys are not subscribed, you guys should consider subscribing. I put out videos each week, and I also do live streams on Fridays. Every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern with Stephanie. We talk about comic book news. That's including movies, TVs, and comic books. And then we drink some beers. And you know, we always have a theme, a beer theme, and this week is no different. It's going to be winter beers, or I think actually Christmas beers from what I saw. But yeah, that's me, it, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking me out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.